I love my studio audience. It's the kind of energy that they give to me. You guys, you have to give yourselves a round of applause. The energy is something else. You know, I told you earlier to pick up your pens and your papers to jot down every single point that this great woman is going to offer on set today. If you don't do that, because we are going to be inspired, and you have to write it down so that you can be like her one day. Her journey is an inspirational one. It's a miraculous one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Yes. Are you sure you're ready? Yes. Oh, I'm not feeling the energy. Are you ready? Now, with a huge round of applause, let's welcome our mama, my mama, Gifty auntie. Ladies and gentlemen, she looks beautiful, doesn't she? I try. Come for her. She's the mama of the mamas. Your questions are ready. Don't worry. I'll come to you. Last week, I couldn't do it, but this time around, I'm doing it. Welcome,
Thank you.
How are you? You look beautiful.
Oh, I'm tired, but good.
I know you're tired. You know, I was actually asking myself how you do it, because I don't know, back to back, you are at work, you are doing interviews, you're putting this together. Where do you draw your energy from?
From God, first of all. And from the knowledge that a lot of people are looking up to me, both positively and negatively, that I have a young one that I have to set example for, that I have people like you who love me regardless.
Yes.
That gives me the energy to keep going, taking one day at a time, understanding that we don't have forever on this earth. Even if you grow up to be 120 years, a time will come when you're about to go home, you look back and say, I could have, should have. So we do our best whilst we have the life and the energy.
You are such an inspiration to so many people.
Thank you.
For me, I started watching you more than 2 decades ago on TV. And we know you've told your story a few times, but we'll still have to take you back because we have the Gen Zs here. Gen Z for what?
They look very demure.
For the Gen Zs, most of them, you know, they just know who you are, the glory. They don't know the struggle. So let's walk us through the path.
Whew. It's been a long journey. As you rightly said, I've been on TV for the past 28 years and counting, older than most of you. And my journey has really been checkered. There have been ups and downs. There have been some mistakes made. There have been some great successes chalked. I started media by accident. I didn't intend to. I wanted to do public relations officer, but some people thought that I liked talking.
Do you like talking?
I do like talking.
Okay.
So they advised me to try it. And I realized that, you see, it's good to be able to do something, but what are you doing it for? It's good to have something, but what are you using it for? I like talking. What am I using the talking for? So I was directed to use the talking to empower, to tell stories that will bring solutions to especially underprivileged people, to empower women, to encourage, you know, women and young people. You are beautiful. What are you using your beauty for? You speak well. What are you using it for? You can walk. What are you using that for? So you can sew. What are you using? Every gift you have, you need to be able to apply it for something or to something. You need to be able to use it to solve a problem, bring a solution, and to impact lives. So somebody thought, he said, listen, you can tell the story. So that's how my journey in media started. And then on 13th February 1997, I was put on a show as a floor manager.
Okay.
And then that's the GTV breakfast show. I got there early. There was nobody around. I volunteered. I hope you are listening. Got there early, volunteered to go with the driver. You don't look down upon anybody. Driver to circle to go and pick up newspapers. When we're coming, I started reading. It's good to be curious, to be inquisitive. I started reading the newspapers. I got to the office and Madame Beatrice Edu, bless her, she's the reason I can call myself a presenter for 28 years today. And she came in, she was rushing to do her makeup, and I took the bold initiative to go to her and tell her that, Auntie B, don't worry, you calm down. I've read the newspapers. I can give you a summary of what the headlines are saying, and then you can take it from there. And remember, that was the first day of the first ever morning show to be aired in Ghana on TV.
Okay.
The very first
day.
So we
first
can afford
morning show.
first morning show in Ghana. And she, after listening first, she said, you know what, Gifty, put powder on your face, yeah? Go and sit on the set with me, and you give me a summary on set, and then I'll discuss with my guest. Whew.
Just like that.
Just like that.
First morning show on TV.
First morning show. I went that morning to be a presenter. I was sent from home to be a floor manager. And that I had vim because my name was going to appear on the TV as Gifty Auntie floor manager. And my father was going to be excited, you know. But then to the shock of my father, the family, and indeed the whole of Ghana, because remember, first ever morning show in Ghana.
Yeah.
So everybody was tuning. There came this young lady wearing a men's shirt because it was my father's T-shirt, with her jeans, jeans skirt and some slippers. Luckily, there was a table, so it's not like today. So I had to cover. And then we started. The guest was, he was with Ghanaian Daily Graphic then, was a very well-known journalist, Harry Mozales. May he rest in peace. And I sat on and we did that. It was a Thursday. The following week, Monday, front page, there was a magazine called TV and Radio Review. Gifty Auntie, beautiful enough for the set, but not intelligent enough for the program.
What?
I was broken. Oh, I cried. I cried and cried and cried. And then my father said to me, well, think about it this way. You didn't know you were going to go on TV. You didn't know you were going to review any papers or read stories. So you didn't know. Now you know. If you get the next opportunity, you will go and make a mark. That is when he said to me, the best form of revenge is to succeed.
Yeah.
So if you should get the next opportunity, even if it's 1 minute, make sure that the story that was told about you yesterday won't be the same. Especially when the story that was told about you yesterday, you know it's true. You make sure that when you go tomorrow, it won't be the same. 6 months down the line, that same magazine organized awards and gave me 2 awards.
Wow.
My journey has been that of resilience. And remember, resilience is not about not failing. Resilience is not about getting it all the time. Resilience is not about being strong all the time and not breaking down and crying. Resilience is about failing but not giving up. It's about making mistakes and correcting your mistakes. Yeah. It's about being broken but still rising and going. It's about being disappointed but giving yourself another chance.
Your story with resilience. Ghanaians, sometimes we say that they are very unpardonable. You are one of the few media personalities that Ghanaians have not pardoned you at all. The slightest thing, you are thrown into the gutters. You know, to the extent that at a point in time, they were even saying that you couldn't get a man to marry.
Yeah. They said I couldn't get married. I was... First, they said, I want to marry a rich man. If you're not rich, then I don't want to have anything to do with you. Then they said I couldn't get because I was old. They called me, I think, old something. You know, I've forgotten the term. So I can't. And parents were telling their children not to be like me, not to watch me, because they will grow up and not get any man to marry them. And the same parent, when I got married at the age of 45, said, don't worry, even Gifty Auntie got married at 45. There was a lady who told me that her father actually killed a whole goat for the whole family to enjoy when I got married.
Wow. Bless them.
Because he said he wants his children to tap into that blessing. The things will be thrown at you. Even just this afternoon. You know, I was already emotionally all over the place. Then somebody sent me a headline story about me, referring to something that had, you know, a headline that came up last year, which was not true. And then they had written, just in case you missed it. And they brought it back.
Wow.
I was so angry. But then I told myself that, listen, anytime, you should know yourself and you should know your story and understand your journey. Anytime I'm about to do something great, anytime I'm about to do something extraordinary or go to the next level, things like this are thrown at me just to...
Yes.
It's thrown at me just to, you know, ruffle my feathers. So no, I said no, not this time. No, I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to, you know, they've said it over. Sometimes I wonder. There was a time, one of them, I asked them that, you people, aren't you tired of me? You've used me for God knows how many years. He said, oh, you don't know. Once you write there, just your name will drive traffic to.
But you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Because the emotional trauma we go through as personalities, people hardly know this.
And sometimes not just you, but your family. How your family gets affected. You know, and sometimes they are out of the country, they haven't gotten in touch with you for a while. And then people also knowing they are related to you or have affiliation will call them or find out, oh, what is happening? Gifty this, that. It's so traumatic. But people don't care anymore.
No, they don't.
All they care about is, you know, they can get stories to trend. They can make money out of it. But there is a God.
There is a God.
There is a God.
And you actually have a story. Yeah. You have a miraculous story. Yeah. Especially we look at our princess. She's a miracle. Even your marriage is a miracle. Yeah. But you hardly talk about it. You hardly do. I wonder why, though. Why don't you talk about it?
Why don't you? You know, with regards to my marriage, it's basically because, you know, he's a chief.
Yeah.
And our traditional system is somewhere. You know, so although you'll be telling your story, so I tell my story without including him.
Right.
Because once you bring him in, then the traditional thing, oh, your hini, say this, that, you know. When I was marrying him, I didn't know it would happen like that. You know, I just met a fine, young, you know, chief with a swag, you know, fun-loving and all that. But I guess once you get into it, things get, even sometimes, even the picture, position, how you take a picture with him and you post it, it becomes something else.
Exactly. I saw a picture, you know, there was a picture that was trending and people were like, you were bowing to him.
Oh, I'm not even talking, those one for
How do you handle these trolls?
It's tough sometimes. It's annoying, it's heartbreaking.
Do you cry sometimes?
Oh, yes, I do cry all the time. I do cry all the time. You know, yesterday my professor, my media godmother, Mrs. Leslie from Asari, was in my office. She looked at me and said, today, by the time I leave here, I don't want to see you cry. Oh, I cry. I'm a very emotional person, so things get to me. But one thing I'm grateful to God for is that he's made me so resilient. Yeah. Today I was on GTV breakfast show, and one of the young lady who interviewed me brought back and made me, you know, tear up a bit. He shared a story of they coming to meet me. I always like, you know, me, I always get to the office very early. They came in and they saw me with my head on the table, crying, you know, without caring about what was, I was really crying. But the next moment, they saw me get up, do my makeup, and I went to sit on air and presented the news.
Wow.
And she said, Auntie Gifty, that's Valence, Auntie Gifty. So today, I wonder how you were able to do it. How is that possible? She said, all the young ladies, she never told me that. So he said, all the young ladies and the guys in the world just wanted, what is wrong with this woman? How does she do it?
1 minute
she was brooking 1 minute, you know, here. But you do what needs to be done.
And this is what we all need to learn. Let's talk talk about the miracle story. Our princess, a miracle.
My miracle.
Yeah,
my
your
nyami
miracle.
enyo nyam.
At the age of 45.
47.
47.
I married at the age of 45, and I had her at the age of 47. When I knew or had convinced myself that it was not possible. And indeed, I told my husband.
Why did you tell yourself it's not possible?
Because doctors had told me it was not, possible. Because I tried several times, I'd gone through various treatments, and it was not happening. So I had come to believe that that my womb could not carry a child. But I had a growth on my tummy. And it had to be, my doctor was getting worried about it. My gynecologist, Dr. Padiaite, was getting worried about it. So he said he wanted to do a simple procedure.
Okay.
To see how far the growth had gone. It was supposed, he said, maximum about 20, 30 minutes. That procedure took more than 2 hours. I went in and out of, anesthesia and all that. That's also, my BP was all over. I was monitored when in the recovery room. But I remember when I was coming out of it, those in and out, I had conversations. And one of them, he said that, but this woman can carry a baby. Her womb is fine. She can carry a baby. She can carry a baby. And so when I came, he said, Gifty, the way I've struggled with this thing that I thought was simple, if you don't try, I won't be happy with you. And I said, Doc, I want a baby. So if you want us to try, I will try. And we tried. I have the scar here. And sometimes I see it, and there are certain clothes that I want to wear, and then the scar is just. But then every time I remember, and I remind myself that through that scar, I got to know I could carry.
Wow.
And through that scar, God gave me this gift called Nyame Enyo. Yeah.
So how many times did you try?
5 times.
You tried 5 times?
Yeah. I went through 5 cycles. Yeah.
And it all failed?
Yeah. It didn't fail. It didn't work. She's the 5th one.
And you kept on crying to God?
Oh, yeah, I kept on crying.
Did you ask God, why you?
Oh, every time. Every time. I ask God, why? What have I done? And sometimes to women out there who are trying for children and it's not coming, you keep asking yourself, is it because of something I did? Is it because I hurt somebody? Is it because, no. It is so that God will glorify himself.
Yeah.
That's why I call my daughter Nyami Enyo Nyam, the manifestation of the glory of God. It is so that he will take the glory. I wouldn't have an extraordinary story to share if I'd had it easy, like some people did.
Yeah.
I had to go through the process. God knew what he was doing. So don't get into that self-guilt and self-blame.
Yeah.
Trust God. I've written about this, so it's no secret. I remember on the 9th of December 2016, when now President Nana Akufo-Addo was announced or pronounced as the president of the president-elect of this country. I went on my knees by my bed and I said, God, this is the man everybody says can never be a president. I don't know how, but somehow you've made him a president. I pray that just as I even believe I can't have a child or I can't carry a child, please change my story.
Wow.
That was the 9th of December 2016. 24th December 2016, I was declared pregnant. So, you know how they say that when...
Why am I the one tearing when she's the one telling the story?
One of my fathers said to me, when you see somebody being blessed, somebody you know, and he puts it, when your neighbor is being blessed, know that God is in the neighborhood. So prepare yourself, because he could come to you.
Yeah.
He could visit you. So tapping into somebody's blessing with a good heart, with good intention, works.
How did you feel when you were told you were pregnant?
Oh, God, how did I feel? Mixed feelings. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't, do anything. And I remember because they didn't want me to be, because of my age, I was old, 47 years. So I remember they gave me an injection that I slept through. 24th, I slept through. I was in and out of sleep. 25th, the same way. 26th, when it finally drained them, I cried. I said, hey, me. And then came in the fear. What if? Yeah. Would they stay? What if? That's what led me to write my last book. That's the Black Charlotte, Diary of the Late Bloomer. So, everybody sees you are a late bloomer, you give birth when almost everybody has given up on you, and everybody's excited. But there's so many psychological torture, so much psychological torture that you go through. The fears. What if? Would they stay? And you'll be hearing things. People who get pregnant, their late age, these things can happen, this can happen, and all sorts of things. And don't tell them. Sometimes even when you are going to the washroom, you are afraid.
Yeah.
You are afraid, You
don't know what you see.
You see. And it was a journey, but God was faithful. I had a very smooth, pregnancy. Very smooth. I thought, and a lot of people thought that maybe my family, I'll be admitted, as asked to stay in bed. Oh, I didn't work and hid it from a lot of people until somebody from Joy FM.
Who's that?
In my 8th month, I
saw
don't know
you.
how they got the picture, and they posted it. And the world got to know that I was pregnant.
But God wanted your story to be told.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Yeah. God wanted. And He did encourage a lot of women. Lots of women who had given up on themselves, had given up of hope. And I have so many women who, and some of them I post on my timeline, who say that I tapped into, when I heard you were pregnant, when I heard you had given birth, I prayed that God, and God has done it for me. And God did it for me.
This is beautiful. And for what you do for women, this event that you've been organizing for a while now, Women Called to Worship.
Yeah.
As somebody, I think today I chanced on a post of yours, somebody says, you are a prophetess, but you don't even call yourself a prophetess.
In fact, they try to rope me.
They want to. Because you speak and it happens.
You speak with a heart that you speak. You see, we are all anointed in a way, but it's with a heart you speak. No, the one, she's here, Yesley Eyes. Just this afternoon, she sent me a message because I was so down, I was so broken, so tired. And she sent me a message and she said, Mommy, you spoke into my life. It was one of the Women Called to Worship programs. Right. It was noisy, but she came and said she was going to travel that night. And I took her aside, prayed for her, and I spoke into her life. And she said, since then, her story has changed. And today, out of 100 women from across Africa, she was one of the few to be selected to represent and present her products at the UN come December.
Wow. How did Women Called to Worship start?
Oh, Women Called to Worship started when the Standpoint was 3 years old. And, the Lord said to me, well, let me start it from this way. When we started, first of all, people didn't cut me slack. They didn't think it will happen. It will go anywhere. And so much talk, women's program, it will last. Then first anniversary, you know me, I love celebration. So we celebrated, I remember Empress Gifty was the one, Legon Botanical Gardens. We had a walk and then we had, a gospel jam and then other artists passed through. And then second year, there was a walk. The third year, I said, listen, if you want to go far with us, you need God. And your constituency as a woman and men with a feminine side and the youth, what are you going to do to let God know that you will not forget that he's the center of this all. So I decided to bring women together and men born by women together to raise an altar of worship unto God. And it's been an awesome journey. I think our 5th edition, or was it 7th edition, there was a woman who came. She had been pregnant for 10 months. The baby was not kicking, nothing. During the worship, and I say this to the glory of God, she started having labor pains. We rushed her from it was a Trinity Baptist Church. Women called to worship, straight to the hospital. Within an hour, she delivered.
Wow. She had been pregnant for 10 months.
10 months. I didn't know that she had been. I mean, we just knew that during the service, there was somebody who had, so we had to rush her quickly. That reminds me, I need to get an ambulance. I need to get from here. I need to, because we had to call an ambulance, you know, to take her to. It was later on that she reached out to me and told me that this was her. I think it was about a year later. So, and she had twins. She had twins. So she came the following year to give testimony.
Oh, wow.
And we had people who came in to say that they came to sow and then they got a job, they did this, they did that. The testimonies. And I say this to people like me who love to give and to be a sacrifice to. Sometimes the people who come to you for help, for prayers, for whatever, may seem to be progressing even more than you. But it's okay. We are gates. Sometimes people will come back through the same gate and leave something at the gate. Sometimes before they enter, they will leave something at the gate. But sometimes they will go and not leave anything. It's okay. Be happy that through you or through your words, through your platform, somebody got their blessings. And it's okay.
And it's okay.
It is okay. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's very disappointing because you know that, this person, I helped you, I helped him. But they get to a certain point, you call them cry, they won't pick it. They won't even mind you cry. And it's painful. But you have to learn to understand that it's by grace that God used you as a vessel. My father, may he rest in peace, my father said to me one day that, remember that I'm the last of 8 children. I'm the last born. He said 8.
Last born, Catchery.
Catchery. My father used to call me Abofra. I said, oh Lord. You know? And he said to me, out of all your siblings, they are older ones than you. But God decided to use you to be that one that will project and promote the name. And don't forget where you're coming from. He said, when you are busy messing up, somebody is busy warming up to take over from you. So you don't take anything you're given for granted. Work at it, add value to it. Be humble. Remember where you're coming from. Because, you know, God has so many options.
God has so many. That's so true.
God
Be humble. Very, very true. Let's talk about the 150 pregnant women.
Yes, the 150 pregnant women. This will be the 3rd edition. Women Called to Worship. This is the 14th edition.
Right.
Though the standpoint is
16 years.
Yeah, this is the 3rd edition. Last year we went to Gomwa Fete. You know, we all complain about how the society has become very wicked and caring and loving and all that. And they say the hand that rocks the cradle, it needs to be strong. It needs to be happy. You can't give what you don't have. Women, especially in the rural communities, most of the time, they will work from day one they get pregnant till they give birth. Some of them, even the process through which they got pregnant is painful. And they'll be filled with so much pain until they give birth. You know, so we decided that we need to identify some of these women. By the grace, I know as time goes on, maybe we'll increase the numbers, but we'll go to rural communities, find these 150 pregnant women, give them wipes, diapers, baby clothes, cloth when we have it, soap, detergent, whatever we get, baby food. And then we give them one hot meal, and we make sure that they eat the food there. Because you know our women in the rural communities, then she won't eat it.
That's the thing.
And I made a command. She won't eat it.
So they have to eat it.
We don't have takeaway bag. There's a queue. Or we go, if you can't get up, you're heavily pregnant, we come and serve you your food, the hot, with chicken, with egg, with vegetables, jollof. We give you drinks, water to enjoy. We dance with you, and we take the opportunity to educate them about spacing their birth, taking care of themselves when they are pregnant, after delivery, what to do, the signs to look out for. We check their blood pressure, everything we need to do to make that day memorable, so that when they give birth, they remember that, when I was pregnant with you, this happened.
Yeah.
And that joy and that love is transferred to that child. It's biblical.
It is biblical.
It's biblical. Yeah. Some women gave birth out of pain. And through that, they named their children. Even the way they name their children. There are people who say they don't have relationship with their, parent, or some mothers, they give birth and they don't want to have anything to do with their children. And sometimes there's the transferred aggression from their pain.
This will put a smile on their face.
On their faces.
That's beautiful.
And that is on the 21st of September at Downfall.
Okay, that's 21st of September. Yes. And Women Call to Worship is actually tomorrow. Yes, where is it happening?
Tema First Baptist Church. For the past how many years? It's always at Trinity.
Yes.
So First Baptist Church. Okay. This is the first time you're having it in Tema.
Okay.
First time in 14 years. So it's at Committee, the First Baptist Church, Tema Community 5 traffic light.
Okay.
It's not difficult to find at all. First Baptist Church, Community 5 traffic light. It's when you're coming from the hospital road, that's from Accra motorway, it's on your right. If you're coming from the Temasco road, it will be on your left. If you're coming from Community 1, it will be on your left. If you're coming from Community 5, it will be on your right. Very easy to find. And it's free and open to all.
Right.
Free and open to all. You're not charging anybody. Come, let's have a wonderful time. Last year, it was an intimate encounter with God. And we believe that you cannot have an intimate encounter with God and remain the same. So the theme this year is the rebranded woman.
Okay, that's nice. The rebranded woman. Repeat it. The rebranded woman. Very good. Now there's Femiton as well.
That's Femiton.
Tell us about Femiton.
Somebody said before the tones, there was Femiton.
That's true.
This is the 16th edition. It's edition of Femiton.
Right.
It's feminine marathon.
Okay.
So we walk, and then we walk for a purpose. This year, we are walking for peace. Because when there's conflict, when there's strife, when there's war, it is the women who suffer most. Their men are taken away from them. Women get raped. They get abused. Their children are taken as captive. They are kept. It's women. So this is the time women need to rise and send a clear message.
Right.
We want a peaceful election before, during, and after.
That is very important. Ohene, we celebrate you today. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Thank you so much for putting smiles on the faces of the less privileged. I know how much you give to the community. I always wonder why you do it, but I know. If you've ever been to an office, you can't enter without leaving with anything. I don't know, is it like a pact you have with God or something?
I don't even know.
I have never entered your office and walked out empty-handed. Even if it's lipstick, she'll give it to you. Or else if you're afraid, you drink. Any minute required, you drink. Take something, because the heart that you carry is just beautiful. And we thank you for this, and we thank you for being here today as well. We'll take a look at the promo as well. Anybody want a question? I say my producer says, somebody says, one, please, we beg. One, please, please, one, we beg you. Okay, but they say after the promo. No, I'm being told that after the promo, so you hold on to it. The conversation has gotten so interesting. We'll take a look at the promo though. But don't forget that we have DJ Bridash here as well. Bridash, hey, we'll be coming to you. So we'll take a look at the promo, and after that, we have more for you. Do stay.
Where are the women who supervise faith in God? Where are the women who today say that, Lord, I am tired of sitting in this place. It is time for my next level. monies.
And that is a beautiful one. This tells you that you ought to be at Tema tomorrow for this great event. So that question, madam, you have probably like a second to ask the question.
Okay, please, my question is, throughout your journey, what stood out for you in the society?
What's your name?
I'm Patricia.
Okay, Patricia.
What was one thing that stood out for you from the society?
Okay.
Okay. It's always been the feedback. The people who come back to give you feedback as to because of something you did, because of something you said, because of a program you had. Now I've gone back to school. I've learned a skill. I've decided to, you know, forgive, or I've decided to leave an abusive relationship, or I've decided to do something. The people who always come back, you know, to give you feedback, and I meet them everywhere, you know, everywhere, from restaurant to wherever. I meet them everywhere. There was a hotel attendant who met me, and she said, I asked her, you know, why you, because she spoke very well. She said, well, I'm working here to raise money because you said we should go back to school.
Wow. Wow. Ohene, thank you so much for being here today. We are super grateful. You can't go without dancing. Please, what song do you want? Because DJ Bredash is on standby.
Which song will you give me?
Bredash, which one will you give to?
Charlie. You say waiting.
Hey, you want to say waiting?
I don't know. Which one you say waiting?
Listen, like that. You want to
feel the vibe.
So Ohene, the auntie is going to do the boogie with us. Guys, let's do it. You know, the changes, the wave. We are ready for that now. Today, I've told you that we have a lot coming your way. You can't tune out. Up next is a conversation with the sugarcane man, Kamido. And later, we'll also have, you know, we'll be doing it. That's God Lloyd will be joining us. But before then, it's time for us to do, you know, feel the vibe. Let's get some volume in here and feel the vibe.
I'm watching you. So you have to teach me.
Who can feel the vibe here? Who come and